About moonshine in Appalachia, didn't you?
Uh-oh, now what?
Appalachia, because if you say it wrong again, I'll throw an apple at you. Oh, God. That's apparently a thing.
What?
We bought Ecuadorian moonshine. They mix it with warm juice. I'm from Virginia. I had illegal moonshine from the hills of Appalachia. It was a lovely apricot-finished donkey kick to the face.
Yeah.
The main reason it's illegal is they don't pay the taxes that are expected.
Oh.
Yeah, they're trying to bypass the revenuers, they call them.
And there are still a lot of dry counties in Appalachia. One reason they still make moonshine, it's illegal in some places to have it. Mine literally came from an empty Gatorade bottle from a street vendor.
That's a perfectly good bottle.
I went to the Jack Daniel's distillery, where it has been for 100 years or whatever in Lynchburg, Tennessee. And I said, well, do we get a sample? And they said, no. This is a dry county. I said, what, you're making the whiskey, but you can't? Nope, we can't sell it. We export it out of here.
Jeez.
And then there's a little house there, and that's where the revenuers live. There's always a government agent on the premises.
Really?
Yeah. What's that? The revenuers live in there.
Revenuers. You got to say it like that. Ed Brass, moonshine is actually an excellent way to recycle Skippy peanut butter jars. So that's.
There's a really good movie about moonshiners called Thunder Road, starring Robert Mitchum, who also had a hit song from that movie. He sang the theme song, Thunder Road, and it's about him. It's kind of about the early days of stock car racing, because that's how it got started. They would race with they had cars full of moonshine.
Dukes of Hazzard. That's what that's
Please. Burt Reynolds, White Lightning.
Oh, I'm
okay.
Please, Robert Mitchum, Thunder Road. If you want, I'm an originalist.
All that leftover news. Bring it.
Okay.
Big boy news and Opinioendo now, brought to you by.
Take a visual trip in the dome at Clark Planetarium while listening to music of some of your favorite rock bands like U2, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and more. Cosmic light shows play every Friday and Saturday night. Visit clarkplanetarium.org for tickets.
Well, this headline caught my eye. A tiny fish returns to the Mississippi River after vanishing 50 years ago. How do they know it's the same one?
Is it the dreaded Candiru?
I don't think so. I don't know how they know that it's a little tiny fish.
But I guess it's science. I don't know.
Yeah, it's called a pearl darter, and they thought it was extinct, but it's back after 50 years.
Good.
Hey, good for the pearl darter.
Yeah, they're indomitable little things.
We missed you.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Kourtney Kardashian is sharing what exactly the urgent family matter was that put her in the hospital and pulled her husband, Travis Barker, away from his European tour.
What?
Amid speculation, the pregnant reality star and business owner shared a post on her Instagram page confirming the health of her fetus had been in jeopardy.
Oh.
This had caused her to rush into urgent fetal surgery.
Oh.
A fearful situation that she said she was not prepared to undergo. Well, how do you prepare for something like that?
That sounds like a...
I don't think anyone who hasn't been through a similar situation can begin to understand the feeling of fear, she said. I have a whole new understanding and respect for the mamas who have had to fight for their babies while pregnant. But I guess she said the doctors, I'm ever grateful. They've saved the baby's life, and I'm okay. And my husband was by my side, and we're doing okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Madonna not doing so good.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Well, she's injured. She has left fans worried after showcasing a new injury as she rehearsed for her previously postponed world tour. The Queen of Pop, really?
Yeah.
Was forced to hit pause on her performance plans after suffering a scary health crisis that landed her in the hospital. And now she has wounded herself.
This is your choice?
She is... What's wrong with this?
There are lots
I didn't
of
want to go to
Madonnas
Material
involved.
Girl.
Is this La Isla Bonita?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Last night I dreamt of San Pedro.
Yeah. It's,
Last night I dreamt of San Pedro.
She shared a selection of photos from her world tour rehearsal, including selfies, behind-the-scenes snaps, and more. In one Instagram pic, she showed off her long legs while wearing fishnet stockings and a pair of low-heeled boots on stage, and then she's got a blue brace on her leg, around her left knee and
Vogue?
leg. And she said, Yeah, I've injured myself, but I'm working through the injury. And Drake published some photos.
What?
Well, perhaps the biggest takeaway from Drake and his 21 Savage is it's all a Blur tour.
Okay.
Hasn't been the music, it hasn't been the production or anything performance related.
Hate the Drake.
It's been the bras.
Really?
Lots of brassieres have been thrown at Drake, and he's now rounded them all up and
Why
put
did
them
he
in a
keep
photo.
them? Why?
In the Instagram photo he shared, Drake smiles with his arms spread wide, and behind him is a grid of brassieres.
That's weird.
600 brassieres at least.
Why? Why?
Well, his wife insisted.
I don't know why anybody would.
I mean, even Tom Jones didn't keep his, did he?
The
Keep
panties?
all the-
No, I don't think so. Have you ever wondered what a ship looks like at
Yes.
142 years old?
Oh.
A ship called the Trinidad has been located, a shipwreck, off the coast of Wisconsin in Lake Michigan, where the winds of October came early. Where it sank, it was so well preserved, though, you can see all the details. 142 years it's been under the water. You can see details like the wheel and dishes inside the deck house. And it's I don't know, it's exciting to some people.
If you're into that kind of thing.
Ship nerds?
If you're, yeah, if you're a wrecked ship nerd, this is, yeah.
The winds of October came early.
No,
November.
that's not a line from La Isla Bonita. Young girl with eyes like potatoes. No, that's not.
Scientists report, and what could go wrong? They have grown the early stages of human embryo-like entity without using sperm, egg, or womb.
What could go wrong?
The embryo model even releases hormones that triggered a positive pregnancy test. However, the purpose of the embryo is to provide an ethical way of monitoring early human development. Synthetic embryos would not be allowed to progress beyond a matter of weeks. Who's going to stop them? If a synthetic embryo wants to progress, it will do it. During the first 14 days after an egg is fertilized by a sperm, the nascent embryo undergoes dramatic changes. It's at this point that myriad developmental disorders and birth defects can arise, but the cause of these is poorly understood. So they think that now they could use this synthetic embryo to watch and see what happens, and maybe they'll be able to. It's like
I don't like it. I don't trust it.
It's like embryo in a box.
This is a bad idea.
I don't trust it.
I think it's a good idea because you can't really study it very well when it's inside of a lady. But if it's in a box, the scientists can study it and see what's going awry. And here's another one for you of science. The naked mole rat is bringing modern science one step closer to creating the elixir of life. Researchers have successfully transferred a longevity gene from the naked mole rat into a mouse. This groundbreaking procedure has potential implications for promoting longer, healthier lives in humans.
This science music?
The naked mole rat, despite its less than appealing appearance, and they are really not attractive creatures, boasts a remarkable lifespan and a significant resistance to age-related diseases.
Well, it's why Carrie's going to live forever. You never go outside.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you're saying Carrie's a naked mole rat?
Just
Is that what you're saying?
Listen, Stay
you're
inside.
you're both wrong. This is how you get a kaiju mole rat, all right? That's how this happens.
Is that what's it'll happen?
Exactly.
And, we had a story earlier about a presumed human skull found at a Goodwill store in somewhere. Well, here's another skull story.
Okay.
A high school student made an incredible discovery in her own backyard. This is in Alabama, I believe. A 34-million-year-old whale skull.
That would have to be a large skull.
That is a big skull.
16-year-old Lindsay Stallworth and her biology teacher, Andrew Gentry, found small bone fragments while searching for shark teeth on her family's timber property in Monroe County, Alabama. I guess they know that there are some fossil deposits there where they can find shark teeth. As they dug deeper, they discovered bigger bones and eventually uncovered a piece of a lower jaw. When they found one of the creature's huge teeth, they realized it was the skull of a prehistoric whale, about 4 to 5 feet long. Not the whale, the skull. Stillworth, a junior at an Alabama School of Math and Science, says she's been gathering fossils on her family's land for a long time, but this is just amazing. A whale skull. And there's a picture of her picking at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think that's almost all the old news I have.
You have one more?
Yeah. A tiny fish. No. Let's see what this story is. I've had it in the file for a while. If reports from the time are to be believed, 17th century Poland was awash in what they called revenants. Not vampires exactly, but sort of proto-zombies who harassed the living by drinking their blood or, less disagreeably, stirring up a ruckus in their homes. In one account from 1674, a dead man rose from his tomb to assault his relatives. When his grave was opened, the corpse was unnaturally preserved and bore traces of fresh blood. Such reports were common, so common that a wide range of remedies was employed to keep corpses from reanimating, from becoming revenants. When someone died, they would cut out the person's heart, or they would nail them into their graves, hammering stakes through their legs and jamming their jaws open with bricks to prevent them from gnawing their way out of their caskets.
Man.
In 1746, a Benedictine monk named Antonin Augustin Calmet published a popular treatise that sought, among other things, to distinguish real revenants from frauds. 4 centuries later, archaeologists in Europe have discovered the first physical evidence of suspected child revenant. They were excavating an unmarked mass cemetery in Poland, and they found a vampire child.
Where did you get this story?
This is from the New
Fake
York
Revenant
Times.
News.
The New York Times. It's
You mean the New Woke Times?
that's pretty interesting. There are pictures of their findings.
Vampire kids?
Yeah.
All right.
The child was buried face down.
All right. Weather. They weren't actually vampires.
No, they were revenants.
No.
72 right now, going to get up to 87 for a high today and sunny. And we stay in that same pattern. I'm looking all the way through till the first part of next week. Mid to upper 80s, overnight lows in the 60s, sunny skies, no chance of rain. Go outside. Go play outside.
Go touch grass.
Frank Chris would like this one, Carrie.
Yeah.
They found a grave of a woman, the skeleton, with a padlocked toe and an iron sickle over her neck. The sickle was meant to sever the woman's head should she attempt to get up from her grave.
God. I wish I could say the human race has gotten better, but
Not so much.
not so much.
Well, this is just practical stuff here.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Yeah, you listen to...
It's often said that people of Utah speak a language all their own. It's a language that's often confusing and even incomprehensible to newcomers here in the Beehive State. So, Radio from Hell presents a handy guide to help everyone understand how the natives speak. It's the Utah word of the day, and today's word is...
Pill. P-I-L-L, pill. And variants of the word, too. Pilling, pilled, pillar. And now the mayor of Mona, Utah, the Honorable Don Criddle, and his son Denver, be listening for the word pill and its variations.
Son, when are you going to learn? Being the son of the mayor of Mona, Utah, comes with certain responsibilities. You cannot just be going off half-cocked all the time, Denver. The Criddle name is still strong and respected, no matter what shenanigans you and your hoodlum friends are doing.
What do you mean, shenanigans, Daddy? Is that a French word or something?
What I mean is the tomfoolery that you and your chums have been engaged in down to the church parking lot. Now, we Criddles are considered pillars of the community. We can't be associated with the ruckus that you boys have been committing.
I ain't sure what tomfoolin' ruckus you're referring to, Daddy. What did we do?
When I say ruckus and church parking lot, what does that suggest to you, son? I'll tell you what it suggests. You and your hoodlum chums that you and your mother and I have warned you to stay away from was creating a bunch of noise and such down to the ward parking lot late at night. There's neighbors around that ward house, Denver. And when you send them, when you and them ne'er-do-wells you run with, them boys from up to Payson, start burning rubber in the parking lot at 2 in the a.m., well, folks are going to complain.
I know, Daddy. I'm sorry. It don't look good for the mayor's son, me, Denver Criddle, to be doing that kind of thing, does it? I'm really sorry.
Well, I know that you know better, son. So why was you with them boys pilling out in the parking lot?
I just got carried away, Daddy. Phil and Paul come down from Payson in Paul's new muscle car, and Phil said, "You want to see Paul's car burn rubber? You can really make it peel out." If we hadn't been drinking Mountain Dew, I would have said no, but, well, like I said, I got carried away.
I understand, son. Nothing makes you feel more manly than a high-performance engine and the smell of burning rubber.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great appeal to pilling out, especially when you're young. I remember when I was 30.
Thank you, Daddy. And what about Mom? Is she going to be mad?
Well, maybe. But don't you worry, son. I'll just tell her to take a chill pill.
Join us again some other time as we examine how the Utah natives speak with the Utah Word of the Day.
All right, so let's get Allison on the phone.
Allison Faust, are you there?
I am.
Hi, good morning. Allison is, it says next to your name, M-H-A and M-C-H-E-S.
Munchies.
That means she's smart.
What are those?
So, yeah, that means that I have studied public health education. And have a master's degree in health administration. So I work for the state of Utah as our suicide prevention administrator.
The Department of Health and Human Services, and we're talking about suicide. And of course, there's the walk on Saturday, Out of the Darkness, where I'll be there sort of officiating. But let's talk about suicide prevention. It is a public health issue. What are some of the most important things to be aware of?
I think one of the best things that we can all do is learn the warning signs for suicide.
Mm-hmm.
We have several education programs, but just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what I tell people to watch for, we know our friends, we know our family members, we know our coworkers, and we tend to notice when something's a little off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always advise people to just watch for significant changes in the way that people are talking or behaving, mood swings, things that are just a little bit out of the ordinary. And so I think that that's one of the biggest things that we can start the conversation with is start, learning the warning signs for suicide.
I think too often people, when somebody threatens suicide or say, I just want to, I'm going to kill myself, or I'm going to go to sleep and not wake up, or any of that kind of thing. A lot of people seem to think that that's, they say, oh, come on. You're just trying to make me feel bad. But you should take it seriously all the time, shouldn't you?
Yeah. Sometimes, when people joke about death, it's just kind of a way of coping, and they don't know how else to say it because it does sound so dramatic, if you will, right? Because people don't want to hear you always, say that I'm just going to kill myself. Today's been so hard. People don't know how you're going to react, and so that's a really difficult conversation to bring up. And so we do a lot of times hear it in dark humor, and so we have to take all those kinds of jokes and comments seriously.
What about behaviors? What sort of behaviors should you watch for?
Specifically, if people are withdrawing from friends, from family members, from activities that they enjoy, if they are isolating themselves from friends and family. Interestingly enough, sleep is a big indicator. If somebody is changing their sleeping habits, if they're sleeping too much or sleeping too little, we know sleep has a huge impact on our mental health. And so those are good times to check in as well. But also, if people are increasing their use of alcohol or drugs, or looking for ways to kill themselves, having severe mood swings, giving away things that are important to them, those are a few things that we can watch for and use as an opportunity to check in.
And then what? How do you approach it? What do you do? And
that's the hard thing. What do you say?
It'd be different for a friend or a family member, I suppose, if it's just an acquaintance, or if it's a family member. Are there different things you can do?
It is hard, and I think as helpers, right, that's the scariest part is, okay, now I've recognized these warning signs. What do I do?
Yeah.
And so I think the best way to start a conversation like this is with I've noticed, right? I've noticed that you aren't sleeping so well, or I've noticed that you've been showing up late to work, and that's really unlike you. I think what that does is show that you care and that you are paying attention and you've noticed something is different, and it helps this person feel seen maybe in a time where they haven't felt that way. And so I always start with I've noticed this is happening and I'm wondering if you're thinking about suicide. The best thing we can do is ask directly when we recognize those warning signs.
Now, there is the new crisis lifeline, the new suicide prevention and crisis lifeline, 3 digits, 988. And people who are in trouble, they can use that. But if you know someone you can call that number and get some advice from people about how to deal with this, right?
Yeah, I've actually done that myself. If you're having a conversation with someone or you're worried about someone and you just don't know what to do next, you can call 988 and have a conversation with a trained crisis worker and just say, what do I do next? And they can help kind of walk you through that and know what steps you should take so that you have exhausted all your options.
All right. And I noticed, let's see, there was something on this sheet that you sent us. There is a website that the state has as well. I can't find it now. What is that?
Yeah, so we have a website called liveonutah.org. This has a variety of resources, many of the warning signs for suicide that we've talked about today. You can find that on our website. But we also launched the world's first ever suicide prevention training for free, delivered entirely over Instagram.
Oh.
So if you're a social media user and you want to go follow us at Live on Utah on Instagram, you can get certified as a Live On ambassador in under an hour. It's just a series of 10 Instagram posts on our page, so go check that out.
Excellent. Alice Faust, thank you so much.
All right.
Suicide Prevention Administrator for the State of Utah Department of Health and Human Services. And remember, 988 is a number you can call, or you can text that number as well. So thank you, Allison.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Allison. All right. Talk to you later. We will take a break. We will be back crawling towards the exits. Salt Lake Film Society, slfs.org.
I didn't realize it's been 23 years they've been doing Tower of Terror at Salt Lake Film
It just
Society.
makes sense, It's that time of year. People are looking for scary movies.
This is happening at Broadway Center Cinemas on Fridays and Saturday nights. Now, this week is their big kickoff. They have a performance by the Invincible Czars. They're a musical band that people just love. They're super cool, and they play along with these silent horror films. So you're getting just this incredible experience. Nosferatu and Bill, the Cabinet of Dr.
Caligari.
They will sell out, so make sure you go to slfstix.org for these shows September 6th and 7th only. Also, the weekend Tower of Terror begins with Tremors on Friday, September 8th. And the best thing,
Reba McEntire's in that,
John Carpenter.
She's the scariest thing in the movie.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And then your favorite thing, John Carpenter's 1982 thing on Saturday, September 9th. So get tickets and showtimes for all of that at slfstix.org.
September.
Should the term hiking apply in a vacation situation? Now, I know you're thinking recreation. But clearly my definition of vacation is different from yours if you actively seek out this kind of activity. All right?
Yeah.
So
Some people like
I mean,
that.
not
yeah.
for me.
I would just say to someone like you and me, Gina, is that if someone says, let's go on a hike while we're on vacation, you say, no, that's not pleasurable. That's a workout.
It's not a vacation.
That's a workout.
I'm here to relax.
Now, I don't recall the circumstances as to why we wound up going with, because like I said, my sister-in-law scheduler. So she wanted the girls to see this hike to a waterfall.
That's one of the things.
Waimea?
No, it's Monoma. I sent the picture to Katie. Hopefully she can get it fast enough. I want to say Monoma, but it's we get there, and my brother-in-law looks at the sign, Manoa Falls. Yes, Manoa Falls Trail, and he looks at the sign. He says it's only like 1/8 of a mile.
That's not bad.
No.
I said, well, yes, but let's also keep in mind the heat, the humidity, and it's uphill.
Yes.
So that kind of negates everything.
And there's air conditioning in the car.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right here.
A cool breeze at the beach.
But I just,
You went.
it was muddy and just the worst. And so we wound up going. Yes, we went.
How long did you have to slog before you got to the falls?
I didn't keep track of the time. It really was only an
Not
eighth of
far,
a mile,
yeah.
but it was uphill and on some of the rockiest terrain that I've experienced and muddy. And I was just like, these dark clouds overhead, I can tell right now that if it rains, we're going to get washed down the trail. So anyway, we make it to the top of the trail. And, after stopping several times on the way up, we make it to the top of the trail. And I kept saying on the way up, I said, boy, this better be spectacular. We get up there, and it's pretty. It's nice. Like I said, if we had the picture, we'd show you. But for some reason, email doesn't like to talk to the producer's booth. So anyway, so we enjoy the falls. We look around.
A lot of other people around?
Yeah, quite a few other people. So as we're hiking back down, stumbling back down, I decided to make the best of this situation.
Okay.
And so I started saying to people, don't worry, guys, it's only another 5 miles.
But to people going
Because they're
up.
coming
To
up.
people
and
as
you're
they're
going
coming
down.
up,
Yeah.
It's only another 5 miles, guys. You're on your way. And they'd
You're so close.
they'd be like, oh, thanks, yeah, thanks for making me laugh, whatever.
Yeah.
So as we're heading down, we're down to the bottom of the trailhead, and here comes this woman, and she's got this big floppy straw hat on, and a lovely Hawaiian print dress. You've seen those like full length kind of dresses. They go down to the ground.
and it's like this lovely, papaya color and white, and it's got flowers, and she's carrying a grocery sack. And she had these nice shoes on and everything, and I just said, "Ma'am, you are the best dressed person on the trail today." Mm-hmm. She went, "Thank you. I'm scattering my mother's ashes."
Nice. Well, yeah, you want to dress up for that.
I'm scattering my mother's ashes.
That's nice.
She wanted to be at the waterfall.
And I went,
A grocery bag of ashes.
a grocery bag of ashes. And so I just I went, well. I said, well.
Oh, there's a picture. Now it's there.
There's me and my niece, Izzy, at the waterfall.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So I said,
nice.
spreading my mother's ashes. And I just was kind of stunned for a moment.
Uh-huh.
Her name was Agnes. I went,
Oh.
I said, well.
That's God bless her.
And I thought, there's nothing that I could say that would be weirder. So I thought I'd try.
Uh-huh.
I said, well, may the gates of Stovacor be wide open when Agnes arrives.
Nice.
What is that? I said, just tell her I said hi, all right? Yeah. And walked away.
Her name was Agnes.
That's sweet.
And that's when Sue said, did you just meet that woman from White Lotus? Is that her? Is that the real life one?
Yes.
That's her in real life, isn't it?
You know what's fun to do to piss people off when you're hiking? Is start singing, I love to go a-wandering along the mountain track. And just do that as loud as you can.
I mean, so when you travel with kids, you need to keep them occupied. I understand
activities. I get it.
that.
Board games are nice.
But I also understand that Carrie Jackson, you have not had a vacation in 3 years.
Well, Gina, there are those who would say that every day of my life is a vacation.
I'd say that.
But
I
mean, and here are the shoes that I wore in this muddy hike.
Well,
okay?
they're pristine.
These pristine white shoes. We weren't ready for those, and neither was some of these people that were hiking up. They had like these sandals on and stuff.
Yeah.
They were not ready.
Yeah, I went on a hike in Hawaii along the Nepali coast and nearly died because A, it was such a long hike, but B, because it was so slippery, muddy, and there were roots.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It just and at one point I slipped, and you slip, you go off the side of the, and it's like 200 feet down or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And I went off the side of the trail. Fortunately, was caught by some bushes.
I mean, that was the big concern. Really, was the mud was so slippery. I was just convinced that that the girls were going to get so excited. And
How did they do? Did they do fine?
Oh, they did fine. They did fine. I was hanging on to the youngest one.
Were there signs before you entered the trail that said beware of wild boars? Because that's the trail I hiked on in Hawaii.
What, really?
Yeah.
No.
Beware of wild
But
boars.
we did have the critters that we experienced both on that trail and at the resort. Mongoose.
Really?
Are they mean or anything?
No.
Unless you're a snake.
The mongoose keep the snakes and the other critters in check at the resort. It's like their wild cat situation.
I've read Ricky Tikki Tavi.
Yeah, but that was because I thought it was a rat at first, and and the cabana guy goes, no.
We like those.
Those are good.
That's a good guy.
That's the mongoose. That's a
Okay.
good thing. All right.
On this day in 1979.
It seems like just yesterday.
Yeah. The Buggles released Video Killed the Radio Star, lead single from their debut studio album, The Age of Plastic, and the very first music video played on MTV. Of course, everybody knows that little bit of trivia.
Trevor Horn, and who's the other guy who became the big composer for movies?
Composer.
What's his name? Trevor Horn is in the
Bing
band. Yeah.
Let me see.
I'm trying to find it, and I can't.
Bing it.
I'm looking. He's won an Academy. He's won Academy Award. I think he did the music for Titanic.
Howard Shore and the All Nurse Band?
No. It's somebody will get it.
It's just Trevor Horn and Jeff Downs.
Am I thinking of somebody?
That's the band.
Yeah.
Is
it Trevor Horn?
No, I don't think so. I must be thinking of somebody else. Some other band. Oh, well.
That's all right.
Doesn't matter. We got time here. No, I guess we don't, do we?
We'll just, hang on. We'll just shut things off for a minute. All right.
Trevor Horn was in Asia after the Buggles. Maybe that's what you were thinking of.
Yeah, that's it.
James Horner?
No?
I've gotten my wires crossed somewhere. I'll
Conway
figure it
Twitty?
out. No, not Conway Twitty.
I'm just, the chat room's trying to help you.
Tim Twitty. No.
Somebody Jordan?
No.
Somebody Jordan.
I don't. I'll figure it out.
All right. Well, let's do the promo.
I think I shorted out somewhere.
Let's do the promo and crawl towards the exits. Then.
Who cares about the writers and the actors' strike? We've got reality TV to entertain us.
Well, I care. Those folks deserve to get paid what they're worth.
I mean, some of them can't even pay their rent.
Oh, yeah, I get that. I'm just excited that Real Housewives of Salt Lake is back.
Bill, maybe we don't need our friend Victoria to call in Friday and tell us what happened on the show. Sounds like you could get us caught up.
Well, Mary's back, and Jen's in prison, and Heather is a bad Mormon.
Real Housewives update with drinking game on tomorrow's Radio from Hell show here on X96.
I'm just assuming all that's true.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea. I have no idea.
All right.
Is it Friday?
Tomorrow.
For Gina.
Crap.
Yeah, it's my Friday.
Oh, you
For
won't
Gina,
be.
it's Friday.
You only worked 3 days this week.
Yep.
And with you, that means you worked 2.5.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're good. All business taken care of, Katie? Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Fugly Flume.
Ugly flume. When we shut things off,
Yeah.
this is what you get. Marcy.